Imagine it's July, 98 degrees, no AC, your fridge just died, milk's on the counter, eggs are warming up, and you're already picturing the sour smell, the wasted food, the $200 grocery bill down the drain. But in an Amish farmhouse nearby, that same milk is still cold as a spring creek. No power, no ice, no backup generator. Just a 200-year-old trick buried 6 feet underground. How? That's what we're answering today, because the Amish aren't just surviving off-grid. They've cracked the code on natural refrigeration, using nothing but dirt, water, and winter ice. And right now, as electric bills hit record highs and blackouts become more common, these forgotten methods are making a comeback in backyards from Ohio to Oregon. We're diving into the real Amish secrets to keeping food cold without refrigeration. Not theory, not maybe, but proven techniques that have kept food fresh for months. While most of us panic after a 3-hour blackout, Amish families keep food fresh for months. No plug, no noise, no bills. And here's the wild part. These methods are making a comeback, not just in Pennsylvania, but in backyards across America. Why? Because the average US household now spends over $150 a month on electricity, and nearly 1/3 of that comes from the fridge and freezer. So today, we're revealing the real Amish secrets to keeping food cold without refrigeration. Number 1, the Root Cellar picture. This, a cool, quiet space tucked beneath the earth where food stays fresh for months. No electricity, no buttons, no beeping. This isn't a science fiction pantry, it's a root cellar, and for the Amish, it's been a kitchen staple for generations. Forget dark, scary cellars full of cobwebs. A real root cellar is smart, simple, and built with purpose. Most are dug into a hillside or under the house. The thick soil around it acts like a natural blanket. Deep down, the temperature stays steady, around 50 to 55 degrees all year. Cool enough to slow rot, but not so cold that your potatoes freak out. And yes, potatoes hate cold. Too chilly, and they turn sweet and gummy. Ask any Amish cook, they'll tell you it ruins the flavour. The secret? Airflow. A small vent near the floor pulls in cool air. Another near the top lets warm air escape. This keeps humidity just right, moist but not damp. No mould, no mush. Carrots stay crunchy, onions last for months. Apples? They could survive a zombie apocalypse. Some Amish families eat potatoes harvested last fall, still fresh in March. No plastic wrap, no freezers, just dirt, darkness, and good planning. It's not just for veggies either. You'll find jars of jam, crocks of pickles, wheels of cheese, even bottles of homemade wine chilling down there. Today, modern homesteaders are building their own versions, using foam boards, moisture barriers, or simple vents. But the idea stays the same. Use the earth's cool, steady breath instead of your electric bill. Quiet, cheap, reliable, and no weird potato science. Number 2. The ice house, winter in a box. Imagine harvesting winter like a crop. That's exactly what Amish families used to do, and some still do. Every January and February, when the ponds froze solid, teams would head out early in the morning. With handsaws and horse-drawn sleds, they'd cut huge blocks of ice, 2 feet thick, heavy, and crystal clear. They didn't just leave them out to melt. No, they hauled them straight to the ice house, a small, sturdy building made of thick stone or brick. The walls were packed with insulation, often straw or sawdust, nature's way of keeping the cold in. Inside, the ice blocks were stacked like bricks, layer after layer. Between each layer, more straw or sawdust was added. It acted like a blanket, slowing down the melt. The roof was tight, the doors sealed, and no sunlight got in. And just like that, they built a freezer without wires, without noise, without a single plug. As the months passed, the ice melted, but slowly. That meltwater drained out and the cold air stayed trapped inside. The temperature hovered just above freezing, perfect for keeping milk from souring, butter from turning, or meat from spoiling. Some ice houses kept their chill all the way into August. That's 6 months of cold, powered only by winter and smart design. It wasn't magic, it was science. Ice takes a lot of energy to melt. That's called latent heat. So as it slowly turned to water, it pulled heat from the air, keeping everything around it icy cool. Today, most Amish families use propane fridges, but some still keep an ice house. They use it to store blocks of ice they make or harvest, giving them a backup when storms hit or fuel runs low. Think of it like charging a battery, but instead of plugging it in, you fill it with frozen pond water. In a time when power goes out more often and electric bills keep rising, this old-fashioned trick doesn't sound so outdated. It's simple, it's smart, and it turns winter into something you can save for July. Number 3. The spring house. Close your eyes and picture this. A small wooden cabin nestled beside a gentle hill, built right over a bubbling spring. Water flows day and night, clear and cold, rushing under wooden shelves where jars of milk, crocks of butter and fresh eggs sit cooling in the damp air. This is the spring house, one of the smartest, simplest cooling tricks the Amish ever used. And honestly, it feels like magic, but it's just nature doing its job. The water comes from deep underground, where the earth stays cool all year. No matter if it's 30 degrees in winter or 95 in summer, that spring water stays around 50 degrees. Constant, reliable, perfect. Inside the spring house, the air is crisp and fresh. The shelves are built so the water flows right beneath them, pulling heat away from the food. Some families even place their milk jugs and butter tubs directly in the stream, letting the cold water wash over them. No electricity, no noise, no moving parts. Just gravity, water, and smart design. Back in the day, this was the heart of the dairy farm. After milking the cows, warm milk would go straight into the spring house. By morning, it was chilled and ready for cream to rise. No souring, no waste. And because the water never stops moving, there's no chance for mould or stink to build up. Stagnant water rots. Flowing water stays clean. It's like having a fridge that runs on a creek. Some spring houses even had small channels carved into the floor, guiding water around every shelf. Others used flat stones as natural cooling plates. Everything stayed just cool enough. Not frozen, not warm. Exactly what fresh food needs. You'd find apples, cheese, fresh cheese, even homemade drinks stored here. It wasn't just for dairy. It was the original cold pantry. Now, most of us don't have a natural spring in the backyard. But the idea is still useful. Some modern homesteaders dig trenches, lay PVC pipes, and run water from a cistern or well to create the same effect. Others use solar-powered pumps to circulate water through a cooling box. The goal is the same. Use moving water to steal heat. And if you live near a stream or have a way to move water, you can build your own version. It's quiet, it's free, and it turns a backyard trickle into something powerful. A fridge that never needs a plug. Number 4. More ways the Amish keep food. Cool. Think the root cellar and spring house are the only tricks? Think again. The Amish and other off-grid families have used several quiet, clever methods for cooling food. Some so simple, they're almost invisible. One of the coolest? The Zeer pot, also known as a clay pot cooler. It's been used for thousands of years in Africa and the Middle East. And yes, some Amish-style homesteaders use it today. It's simple. Take 2 unglazed clay pots, one small, one big. Put the small one inside the large one. Fill the space between them with sand. Pour water into the sand until it's wet. Cover the top with a damp cloth. Now, place it in a dry, breezy spot, like a porch or shaded yard. As the water in the sand slowly evaporates, it pulls heat from the inner pot. The inside gets cooler, sometimes 20 to 30 degrees below the outside air. Put butter, eggs, or even leftovers in the centre pot, and it stays fresh for days. No ice, no power, just sand, clay, and science. Best part? You can make one for under $20. Some people even use it to cool drinks in the summer. Another smart trick is the cold pantry, often built into the north side of the house. In the US, that side gets the least sun. The room stays naturally cooler. Thick walls, tight doors, and a small vent help keep the air steady. Families store milk in crocks, butter in jars, and apples on wooden shelves. It's not as cold as a fridge, but it's cool enough to slow spoilage. Some even hang a wet cloth near the vent. As air moves through, it cools down, like nature's mini air conditioner. Then there's the buried cool box. Dig a hole in a shady spot. Line it with stones or wood. Place a metal or wooden box inside. Fill gaps with straw or sawdust. Put food in the box. Cover it with a heavy insulated lid. The earth keeps it cool. The insulation keeps it stable. It's like a tiny fridge in the ground. And finally, the night air method. When the sun goes down, open windows and vents in your pantry or cellar. Let the cool night air flow through. In the morning, close everything up. You've just trapped cold air inside, for free. Do this every night and you can drop the temperature in storage spaces by 10 or more degrees. These aren't fancy, they're not high-tech, but they work, and they cost almost nothing. Number 5. The cold pantry. Ever walk into an old farmhouse and instantly feel how cool one room is? That's no accident. Many Amish homes have a special spot built right into the house. A cold pantry, often called a butter closet. It's usually on the north side of the house. In the US, that side gets the least sun. It stays shaded all day. No hot beams blasting through windows. Just steady, cool air. This small closet is tucked into the wall or even partly underground. The walls are thick, made of wood, stone, or packed earth. That helps block outside heat. The door is tight so warm air can't sneak in. Inside, it's simple but smart. Shelves hold crocks of milk, jars of leftovers, and butter wrapped in clean cloth. Some families store fresh cheese, eggs, or even sliced bread here. It's not freezing cold, more like a cool basement. But that's enough to keep butter firm, milk from souring too fast, and food safe for a few days. The real trick? Airflow. A small vent near the floor lets cool air in. Another vent near the top lets warm air rise and escape. This natural loop keeps the air moving. No mould, no musty smells. Some Amish families make it even cooler by draping a damp cloth over a shelf. As the water slowly evaporates, it pulls heat from the air. It's the same science behind a swamp cooler, but no electricity needed. They don't use this for long-term storage, but for daily use, it's perfect. Grab the milk in the morning. It's cool. Put last night's stew inside. It won't spoil by lunch. No noise, no wires, no bills, just smart placement and basic physics. And you don't need a farmhouse to try this. Even in a modern home, you can use a closet on the north side, add some insulation, and place a vent near the floor. Line it with wood or stone if you can. Keep the door closed during the day. It won't replace your fridge. But it can cut how often you open it, saving energy and keeping cold air in. This is old school thinking with real value today. Simple, quiet, and totally free to run. Number 6. Buried cool boxes. Imagine having a fridge that runs on dirt. No power, no noise, just cool air from the ground. That's exactly what a buried cool box is. And it's one of the simplest tricks used by Amish families and off-grid homesteaders. Here's how it works. Find a shady spot in your yard, under a tree or on the north side of your house. Make sure the ground drains well so water doesn't pool. Dig a hole about 2 to 3 feet deep. The deeper you go, the more stable the temperature. Line the hole with flat stones or thick wood to keep the walls from caving in. Then place a wooden or metal box inside. It can be an old chest, a galvanized trash can, or a custom build. Just make sure it's clean and dry. Seal the box to keep moisture out. Some people rub it with linseed oil or beeswax. Others line it with food-safe paint or a light coating of tar. This helps it last longer and keeps your food safe. Now, put in your food, jars of milk, bottles of cider, fresh eggs, or preserves from the garden. Even leftovers can go in. If you plan to eat them in a day or two, cover the box with a heavy lid. Make it insulated. Use wood filled with straw or foam board wrapped in metal. The lid keeps out rain, leaves, and critters like raccoons or mice. That's it. You've just made a fridge from dirt and a box. The earth acts like a natural insulator. Below the surface, temperatures stay cool and steady, usually between 50 and 55 degrees all year. That's perfect for slowing spoilage. Add a layer of straw or sawdust around the box before you cover it. This extra insulation traps the cool air and blocks heat from getting in during hot afternoons. Some families go a step further. They line the inside of the box with ceramic crocks or glass jars. These materials don't heat up or cool down fast. They help keep the temperature even. It's not as big as a root cellar, but you don't need to dig a whole room. This is perfect for small families, renters with yard access, or anyone who wants a backup for power outages. Use it to store extra milk from a cowshare, summer berries, or homemade pickles. It's also great for keeping drinks cool in late summer. No electricity, no noise, no bills, just smart use of the ground beneath your feet. Number 7. The night air method. Cooling your food doesn't always mean ice or deep holes. Sometimes it's as simple as opening a window at the right time. This is the night air method, a smart, no-cost trick used by Amish families and old-time homesteaders for generations. It's all about timing and airflow. When the sun goes down, the air cools fast, especially in summer. That's when Amish households swing open cellar doors, pantry vents, and windows on the shady side of the house. The cool night air flows in like a quiet river. They don't just hope it spreads, they guide it. Some use simple ducts or open doorways to steer the air toward storage spots, like root cellars, butter shelves, or pantries. A small solar-powered fan or even a hand-powered one can help push the cold air exactly where it's needed. As the cool air moves in, the warm air inside rises and escapes through vents near the ceiling. This natural cycle, called convection, replaces hot air with fresh, cold air from outside. By sunrise, the storage spaces are noticeably cooler. Then everything gets sealed. Doors shut tight, vents closed, windows locked. That cool air is now trapped inside, like catching a breath of winter in a jar. This method works best in places with big day-night temperature swings, hot days, cool nights. But even in milder climates, it helps drop the indoor temp by 10 to 15 degrees. Some old farmhouses were built with this in mind. They had special cooling flues, hollow channels in the walls or roof that pulled night air down into pantries and cellars. No moving parts, no power, just smart design. Even today, many Amish families use this trick to pre-chill their root cellars before summer heat hits. Others run it a few nights a week to keep humidity down and food fresh longer. It's not a full fridge replacement, but it cuts down on spoilage and reduces the need for other cooling. And the best part? It's completely free. No build, no cost, no fuel. Just open at night, close in the morning, and let nature do the rest. No gadgets, no wires, just paying attention to the rhythm of the day and using it to your advantage. Number 8, the spring box. Now, here's a trick even most homesteaders don't know, but some Amish families have used it for decades. The spring box. It's not a building. It's not a cellar. It's a buried concrete or wooden box directly connected to a natural spring or stream, and it acts like a naturally powered fridge. Here's how it works. They dig a watertight chamber, about the size of a large cooler, into the ground near a flowing spring. Then, they pipe the cold spring water into the box, run it around food containers, and let it flow out through a drain. Because underground spring water stays around 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, the box stays cool and humid, perfect for storing. Milk in stoneware crocks, fresh butter wrapped in cloth, eggs in brine, even leftovers in sealed jars. And because the water is constantly moving, there's no stagnation, no mould, and no smell. Just silent, passive cooling. Some families build a small lid on top, insulate it with soil and straw, and use it like a buried refrigerator. Opening it daily like a pantry. The best part? You don't need a full spring house, just a steady flow of cool water, and a $50 DIY build. Modern preppers and off-grid homesteaders are now reviving this method using PVC pipes and food-safe tanks. But the Amish? They've been doing it quietly for years, with zero electricity, zero noise, and zero cost. It's the ultimate blend of simplicity, sustainability, and smart design, and proof that sometimes the best fridge isn't bought, it's built into the earth. 9 Why this matters today. So why are we talking about 200-year-old ways to keep food cold in the middle of 2025? It's simple. Because these methods aren't just history, they're hope. Real, practical hope for people tired of high bills, spoiled food, and living one power outage away from a kitchen disaster. Electricity costs keep rising. Grids are under pressure. Storms knock out power for days. And most of us have no backup plan beyond crossing our fingers and eating frozen food before it melts. But the Amish have spent generations perfecting ways to stay cool without flipping a switch. And now, more than ever, their wisdom makes sense. Think about your fridge. It runs 24/7. It guzzles power. The average American household spends over $800 a year just to keep it running. But a root cellar costs a few $100 to build, maybe less if you use recycled materials. And after that, it costs nothing, no bills, no noise, no maintenance, just cool, steady air from the ground. Food lasts longer too. Without the dry air of a fridge or the shock of freezing, fruits and vegetables keep their texture and taste. Apples stay crisp. Potatoes don't sprout. Carrots don't go limp. And because everything is stored in the dark with natural humidity, there's less waste. That matters. The average family throws away hundreds of dollars in food each year. Many Amish families lose less than 10%. That's not magic, it's smart storage. Then there's the planet. Fridges use electricity, often from fossil fuels. They contain refrigerants that can leak and harm the atmosphere. And when they break, they end up in landfills. But a spring house runs on flowing water. An ice house uses winter's gift. A root cellar uses the Earth's natural coolness. No emissions, no waste, no grid needed. And the food? It tastes better. No chemicals, no preservatives, just time, patience, and nature doing what it does best. This isn't about rejecting modern life. It's about choosing what works. The Amish didn't invent these methods. They preserved them. While the rest of us rushed toward convenience, they held on to skills that actually last. And now, those skills are more valuable than ever. 10 modern twists and how you can start. You don't have to sell your car, ditch your phone, or start wearing suspenders to use these ideas. You just need a little space, a bit of creativity, and the willingness to try something smart, the old-fashioned way. Want to start small? That's fine. Most people do. Tuck a box of apples into the coolest corner of your basement. Keep onions in a mesh bag away from light. That's it. You've just made your own mini root cellar. No tools, no cost. And your food will last weeks longer. Got a shed or a garage? Try the DIY ice house. When winter hits, freeze big jars of water or save ice from snow days. Pack them in a cooler with straw, sawdust, or even old towels. Keep it in a shaded spot. Now you've got cold storage that works all spring. No winter ice. No problem. Try the clay pot fridge. It's a trick used for centuries in hot countries. Get 2 unglazed clay pots, one inside the other. Fill the gap with wet sand. Cover the top with a damp cloth. As the water evaporates, it cools the inside. Put butter or eggs in the centre pot. Boom! Natural cooling with zero electricity. Live in a dry climate? This works even better. Some people drop the temperature by 20 degrees using just sand and airflow. Want to go bigger? You can build a full root cellar, even if you're not on a farm. Some folks use old storm shelters, buried trash cans, or unused crawl spaces. Lined with wood, stone, or insulation, these spots stay cool and damp all year. Add a simple vent pipe, and you're in business. There are free plans online. No guesswork. Some backyard versions take just a weekend to build. And if you're curious about more, like what the Amish ate in January, or how they kept from getting scurvy, or what lost superfoods kept them strong, we've got a free guide that dives deep. It's called The Lost Pantry, and it's packed with forgotten tips, storage charts, and real recipes from old Amish kitchens. It even shows how to make a root cellar without digging in frozen ground. Check the link in the description. Thousands of people have used it to cut food waste, save money, and eat fresher. The smart, simple way. No pressure, just knowledge that works. Then and now. Look, we don't all need to ditch our fridges and start harvesting ice with horses. But maybe, just maybe, we can learn a thing or two from a community that's been living sustainably, affordably, and wisely for over 300 years. The Amish didn't invent cold storage, they refined it, and in doing so they showed us that sometimes the best technology is the one that already exists. In the earth, in the water, and in our own backyards. So next time your fridge hums to life, take a second to think, could nature do this quieter, cheaper, and better? Because for the Amish, the answer is yes. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Amish food preservation, do us a favour. Like this video. It tells YouTube you want more content like this. Comment below. Have you ever used a root cellar? Would you try one? Let's start a conversation. And subscribe to Amish Lifestyle. We uncover forgotten wisdom every week, from natural remedies to off-grid building hacks. And don't forget to grab your free copy of The Lost Pantry in the description. It's our gift to you for being part of this community. Thanks for watching. Stay cool, naturally. Until next time, stay curious.